All young children begin to show a hand preference between the right and the left, usually as early as 6 months of age. However, most people choose the right hand out of modeling an adult over the preferred hand. Why is that? Many studies show that hand domination is genetically related, but also personal preference and environment does play a role. People who become ambidextrous also as a result of combination of teaching versus nature. However, left-handedness is more common than people think. Lefties adapt to their surroundings despite facing many struggles, but do experience more cons along the way, specifically with coordination later in life. There is no specific reason for left-handedness, but the lack of coordination is directly affected with left-handedness due to this hand dominance not being directed from the right state or the right state of the right side of the brain. Several recent studies reflect that the facts that left-handedness and coordination are directly linked by hand preference. The proportion of left-handedness in women is lower than left-handedness in men. Some scientists believe that gender influences hand preference, yet some parents can pass on a hormone through genetics, as stated by Lawrence. Hand preference could be transmitted by parents to their children, either at a genetic or learning level, meaning that the children can inherit hand preference by watching or learning from them, or genetically. The fact that handedness is transmitted genetically is not convincing, because parents also provide certain environmental influences of their children through sports and everyday life activities, such as eating and writing. Two left-handed parents provide the highest proportion of the offspring to be left-handed. But environment for children often plays a key role in their developmental health. Some people are left-handed because they suffer some sort of pathology. Some believe that the pathology of a person plays a role in their hand preference, and numerous studies were tested to find out that the reason for left-handedness. One correlation they found is that left-handedness is more common than people think. Around 15% of the population is left-handed. That does not sound like many people initially, but when this breaks down statistically, that is 1 in 10 people will pick up a pencil with their left hand. Approximately 25 million Americans are left-handed. So does that mean 25 million Americans are less coordinated? Possibly yes, according to the science. Left-handed people face coordination issues, compounding the coordination issues that lefties face in the daily struggles of zipping clothing, to cut paper, to scoop ice cream, to write on a notebook, because most daily tasks are designed for the right-handed. Whether it is trying not to elbow their friend at a lunch table or facing a learning disorder, left-handed people do just adjust even when they appear to be clumsy. According to O'Neill, some studies data proven that the tendency to have a learning disorder is associated with left-handedness. Now, does that not only mean lefties face learning difficulties, but in total, left-handed people are in charge to train their bodies to function using the left side of the brain, which controls more of the coordination functions. People who are left-handed receive a lot of grief, saying that they're using the wrong hand or they look awkward when eating or writing. But that is due to right-handed people having the advantage of being the majority. Being left-handed definitely has its pros or cons. One of the cons is mentioned earlier, that more lefties have more learning disorders than righties. That is true based on learning that focuses on the logical or the left side of the brain required for academics. Learning disorders in school make it tough for some lefties to learn to process information. mostly on the right side or the creative side of their brain. They basically have to learn the opposite of everything else, meaning it's not uncommon for lefties to be dyslexic or have any other learning disabilities. Left-handed brains are usually controlled greatly by the right side of the brain, or the spatial side, which is the geometry of other unknowns and formulas used in algebra to make more sense. Even though lefties get so much grief, left-handers are in their right minds. Given the many pros and cons, the struggles are real for lefties, and left-handedness and coordination issues do go hand in hand. Although there is no specific reason left-handedness, science does prove that being a lefty is caused from being in the right state of mind and offers advantages such as being more creative. Lefties will always be in the right mind no matter what people think or say.